How do I look?
You look great.
I want to look like cute, but like fuckable.
Yeah. No, you're definitely fuckable.
Cool.
And cute.
Sweet.
Welcome to the official House of Villains podcast. I'm your host, Tyson Apostol. Today we're digging into episode 7 and are going to spoil literally everything. So if you haven't watched the episode, watch it first, then come straight back because today's guest is maybe the most infamous Bravo celebrity of all time, but is most definitely the best bro to have in an alliance and is also someone I'm currently holding hands with. Tom Sandoval.
Definitely a Gemini.
Did I moisturize?
No, I can tell by your hands they're a Gemini. Right? Gemini?
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah. Sweet. What's up, everybody?
I'm so excited you're here. I've been waiting.
Too,
this is
man,
the moment I've been
too.
waiting for.
I know, man. Me too. And I feel so comfortable because this is literally what my bedroom looks like.
At home?
Yeah.
With the purple and everything.
Yeah, just
It's crazy.
like, fully.
Let's get into House of Villains.
Yeah.
Rumor has it you were a little bit hesitant about being a villain on House of Villains to begin with.
Yes, I was actually.
What were the hangups?
Well, I was asked to do it a year prior.
Okay.
And I think currently what I was going through in my life, it just wasn't the right time. It didn't feel right. And, you know, with doing a show like this, you want to feel right about it. You want to be comfortable. And I'm glad I waited because otherwise I would have done it and not met you, man.
That's right. You would have had to hang out with Johnny Fairplay, Richard Hatch, maybe. You lucked out. Like I'm telling you right now, I lucked out too, but you definitely lucked out.
Yeah, I did. But you know what?
Yeah.
I will say this show was such a fun, pleasurable experience. It was just really cool. I'd never quite been in a situation like this. You hadn't either. I mean, this is obviously very different from Survivor.
Oh, so different. Like the whole mansion experience in the house just like locked in. And I also was hesitant because I was like, am I really a villain? Because in my story, I'm the hero every time.
Yeah.
And then even in my interviews with production, I was like, are you sure you have the right guy? And they're like, why do you do anything in life? I was like, to spite others. And they're like, yeah, we have the right guy.
I remember you telling me one of your favorite things on Survivor was watching people like unravel.
Oh my gosh. And you know it's coming. I love it. That's literally why
I wonder why you should be on House of Villains. You're like, I like to watch right their breaking point.
You can see it. You can see it before it happens. Like you can see the person crumbling and their facade and their mask that they've put up just starting to come off. And you're like, here we go. And if you have popcorn, get it out because it's going to be amazing. Yeah, I do love that. That is one of the motivating factors for me going on shows.
I mean, you got to have something to be able to be on a show like that. You got to have something that like.
Yeah, you really do. You were on Traitors last year. And in my words, Tom Sandoval, national treasure.
Thanks,
that
man.
Haunted doll episode where so many people on the episode were like, oh, he's not a good singer. He doesn't do this or that. But guess what? None of them had the balls to even try singing backwards.
Terrible singer.
And I think that's what's endearing. To me, that's what's endearing about you is that
Thanks, man.
You're willing to try even if you don't know or are uncertain of the outcome. And like that is just
even if I'm going down in flames, I'm going for it.
You're going for it. And I love that because a lot of people wouldn't even go for it. And so I think that your time on Traitors, you'd kind of turned a page.
Yeah.
And I think you continued that in a huge positive trajectory on House of Villains as well.
Thanks, man. Dude, it helped having you around, man. I felt comfortable, and you don't know what kind of situation you're going to go into, especially with something like this, watching the previous seasons. I mean, season 1 was very different from season 2, but they all were very like, what do I want to say? Just sort of in your face.
Yeah.
And I was a little nervous about that. I felt like it might have been like a situation where it's just like Jerry Springer at its peak, 24 fucking 7.
You think they're having a little person coming out and beating you up?
Maybe. Like for breakfast.
Yeah, just like, here we go. Yeah. Tyson, this is the first time you've ever met your real parents, and they're here to fight. I actually also I don't love confrontation, like loud
No,
confrontation.
I don't either.
I like to sit in the background and watch it. Like I love to watch it. I'll watch it all day long.
Yeah.
Show me a fight, give me front row seats. But that's also why I was a little hesitant on villains, because I was like, I don't want to get in an argument with some weirdo. Like, let me just like watch two other weirdos argue.
Well, you know what? I think honestly, like you being supervillain first really helped out. Like it really set the tone
Yeah.
for the show. You know, I've seen past, like, obviously, not everybody wore the crown with, you know, as much
grace
grace.
and dignity.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
As you did.
We said the
And
same thing.
it's so crazy. It's like we finish each other's
Sandwiches.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I do agree. Like you're saying that and you're giving me credit, and I'm going to take it because I let Christine and Jackie shit on me so hard and didn't bite back. I literally
know, it was
just sat
good.
there and absorbed all of it and was just like, whatever.
I know you're full of shit. You picked the wrong fucking one. I wouldn't have done that if I were you. Baby, you understand?
Then they came back and apologized.
Yeah.
And then,
Versus just like starting it off that way. And then it's like,
yeah. Now
it's
we're
going to
in
be
it.
like 3 a.m. Somebody's going to come into the room, scream at you. Like, I was like, I don't want to fucking deal with that
Well, that's
shit.
why I wore those eyeball things, so people thought I was always watching and awake.
Dude.
So it was smart to get those.
One of the smartest things ever.
Yeah. Let's talk about our bromance.
Yeah, man.
You are in the house already. I walk in. I know who you are from Traders, and also there's a little secret. Johnny Bananas texted me and was like, my boy Tom Sandoval is going to be in there. You guys should be cool with each other.
Yeah.
So I walked in and you were like, can you be my roommate? Secretly, I was hoping you would ask.
Yeah.
Because I also didn't want to be like, Tom, I'm with you, because that also seemed aggressive and I wanted to play it cool.
Which, by the way, like, kudos to us for going the entire season and nobody knowing that we were working together.
Oh my God, it's crazy that they didn't have a read on it at
all,
all.
dude. No, like, we completely bamboozled everybody.
Everyone, dude, they're fools.
Such
They're
fools. They're the ones that look so stupid.
So stupid. They thought we were just giggling at each other's jokes late at night.
Yeah.
Yeah. When did the bromance really hit for you?
Like physically, emotionally, mentally,
Sexually.
sexually.
Yeah.
Okay,
When
perfectly
we had
awkward.
sex. Is it when we had sex or?
Dude, I mean, I don't know. I don't know when that moment first happens, but
Like really, when I was drawn to you almost immediately. I think we are similar generations. I'm a few years older,
Yeah.
but we have that same like Midwest salt of the earth. I'm from Utah. It's not really Midwest, but it's not really West. We're like Midwest.
yeah,
And I think it's a similar like sense of humor and background. And so you would say things that were so ridiculous. I remember Vicky came and did the toxic tea party, and we all go in the house and we're all standing there.
yeah.
And you come in and you're like, Vicky's really grown and matured as a person since the last time I met her. She's not there yet, but like she's making progress. I am dying laughing. Nobody else even reacted. And I was like, Tom's my guy. He's got to be my, because he's the only one that gets it. Like nobody else is getting it. And do you remember that? Nobody else even blinked. They didn't take a pause. They didn't take a breath. They didn't be like, what was that? They totally missed it.
Dude.
And there were so many moments like that where I was like, yeah, Tom, like,
I think, well, first of all, I'm so excited that I was like one of the first people besides New York to walk in the house and was able to snag like a room so it wouldn't be like a 3-bed situation. And I was like, who am I going to room with? I was worried about, you know, having a target on me. And then you came in and I'm like, oh my God, this guy's like a minimalist. You know, like these girls are going to be, because the house is mostly women.
yeah.
So it's like they're going to be gunning for us. I mean, Jackie had 7
Oh my
motherfucking
God.
suitcases, dude.
Yeah.
I mean,
And we sent her home first.
Shit. Oh, I love Jackie.
I also was like, I don't want a room with a girl because if Tom takes a messy, stinky shit, I can deal with that's acceptable. Like man on man, that's fine. Like you can and I can do the same and be unabashed and sit in there and fart as much as I want.
Yeah.
But if you've got like Christine in there ripping ass, just like dropping huge hairy loads,
Yeah.
like that's a level of discomfort that I don't think I could live with for a month.
Yeah.
So I was like, I have to be with a guy, and I have to be with a guy that's comfortable being himself. And I said it already. I think like
I think that's what drew me to you too, is that I felt like you were really yourself.
yeah.
I felt some people maybe dealt with, the coming into the situation needing to like put on a little bit of a front.
Like who?
I don't know. I mean, everybody's got their own little like,
Paul
Paul.
went hard. He
Paul.
talked very loud.
Yeah, he did.
And yeah.
He didn't take his sunglasses off for like, a week.
Which would be
He's
okay
like-
if they were cool sunglasses.
Yeah. Dude, the sunglasses.
Oh my God. The first time.
Having serious conversations with Paul and having him look at you like with the
Like, tip
sunglasses
him
down
down so he
here,
can
like
see ya.
like looking at you.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, for real, man. Like
Yeah.
for real.
Yeah. With his like bandana thing on his head, his silk bandana.
I never saw Paul's head once.
I saw it once and I wish I hadn't.
Really?
Yeah.
Is there something like crazy going on there?
No, there's nothing.
Is it like Voldemort on the back there?
Yeah, there's another face. When was our bromance tested the most?
I mean, I'm sure that's probably a different answer for me and you, but I felt like I could trust you right away. And to get back to what I was saying when I first met, you're like a
Yeah.
minimalist, and I'm like, fuck, people are gonna be gunning for us. And that's why it was so great when you became supervillain first. And I immediately was like, dude, give up that room immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm so glad you did, because it took all the heat. I immediately felt more comfortable.
And I wanted to give it away, but I also didn't want to be the guy that announced giving it away. So you saying it first made it less of like a power move for me, because they were like, oh, Tom told him to, and then he decided to, rather than me be like, as the benevolent leader of this house, I will now bestow the supervillain suite upon one lucky person.
Yeah.
So it made it easier for me to make that move
man.
without taking the heat.
Yeah, I think immediately I felt like an ease. Like I felt like we were working together and we're bouncing ideas off each other, and there was sort of like a mutual respect. And yeah, once that kind of happened, I felt like a sense of, I don't know, there was, and I can't like, I feel like everybody kind of came in with like a little bit of something to prove, or a little bit of like a wall up, or like, I'm walking in there and like Johnny Middlebrooks is like, Tom, it would behoove you to sit down and talk with me, and we start talking strategy. I'm like, dude, I just met you 5 minutes ago.
It would behoove you.
I'm like,
You say behoove to me, I know you're not my type of, like,
no,
this isn't gonna work.
I was like, oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Behoove.
but I felt an ease with you, man, and I felt like you weren't taking it too seriously, which is exactly what I wanted. And you can be like stomping around and freaking out, you know?
Yeah. Which I didn't hardly do any of that. I trusted you the whole time. There was never a moment where I was like, is Tom, I know there were moments with some of the others in the house, but for me, I was like, I know I trust Tom no matter what. I know that he's got my back. He's not going to do anything shifty or sneaky on me. So for me, there was never a moment where I was like, uh-oh. I was just like, I'm with Tom, ride or die.
I was plotting against you the whole time.
Like everybody else.
I'm just kidding. I'm
Apparently,
just
dude, I'm
kidding.
watching it back.
Dude, I know
you were.
everybody was.
Everybody was.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, guys, we're just two people. Like you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I mean, we put our pants on two legs at a time, so that makes us different. But other than that, we're just humans.
Both peas sitting down.
Yeah, exactly. Did you have a plan B in there besides me? Like, did you have like a number two?
I mean, unexpectedly, New York became an ally, and that was really cool. Like, I did not see that coming.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to read her. I know she would just. I remember one of my favorite things you said is like I knew to just take New York's, which love Tiffany. She's so sweet. I'm so glad I've gotten to know her. Um, but like her little blow ups, like with a grain of salt. And I remember one of my favorite things you said is like, "Oh no, is New York being gonna pretend to be mad at me, and do I have to pretend to
To apologize,
apologize?"
yes. Said, "Oh, great, New York's pretend mad. Now I have to pretend to apologize." Yes, New York was with us and with me too. Like,
Yeah.
same thing. Like, getting to know her, I was very pleasantly surprised at who she was as a person. And was like, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, I can ride with her. And so I would say the same. Looking back on the season, who should we have pulled in with us from the get-go?
I think I was actually me and Kate had a moment where we were like really locked in.
Yeah.
And great. And the whole death sentence letter, I felt like she really took the wrong way. And that sucked. That was kind of heartbreaking because I felt like we had this connection. But I felt like it was funny because I knew at one point Kate liked me, as a person.
Yeah.
But it's funny, like watching it back, I'm like, she's like nagging me a little bit, like just in case. You know what I mean?
Yeah, to be safe, to protect herself.
Yeah.
So she puts a lot of effort into not caring
A lot.
to mask getting hurt
Like,
in any
like
capacity
someday,
or being
like on a
betrayed.
good workout day,
Yeah.
I'll burn like 1,500 to 2,000 calories while lifting.
Yes.
I feel like Kate puts that kind of effort into like not caring.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes me like 4 hours to like burn those kind of calories and like do a full workout and everything.
You think she's doing that many calories an hour?
She's putting that effort in to not care in like a different way. Like there's, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think so. And I could feel that coming from her. So I knew you were good with her and I knew you trust her and you were protecting her. Like when we'd have conversations, you were like, Kate's good, she's good. And I could never win her over.
Yeah.
I could feel like maybe, but maybe not. And I was like, professionally, like, is this a means to an end for both of us? And that's good enough.
Yeah.
And so I think if you would have maybe figured out a way to bring Kate and I together earlier and tighter, we might have been able to navigate it.
Dude, she pulled me aside before the what was the redemption challenge? Before the Minion redemption?
Yes, before the Minion redemption challenge.
She pulled me aside right before that to to try to shake my trust in you. And you're smart enough to know that is a full like manipulation tactic. Get
Yes.
somebody and then throw them into a situation
Right in the moment.
before they have time to really like think it. And I was like, no, I'm not reacting to that.
Yeah.
And that bothered me. And I was like, fuck that. I'm going hard. I'm going hard for fucking Tyson.
You look at it, Tom.
Okay. This is crazy.
Seeing this note with my name in the middle has definitely put me on high alert. But the biggest thing I can do right now is protect Tyson in this redemption challenge, and then I can get to the bottom of this later.
Well, I also was talking to somebody off camera before about that moment. I was like, that shows a level of maturity when you are with someone you know and trust and love, and then someone brings this information to you instead of Tom jumping ship and immediately shifting gears because someone told him something about me.
Mm-hmm.
He stuck it out with me to figure it out
Later.
Yeah. And I think I was like, that's a top level game move.
Thanks, man.
To not be swayed by somebody saying something, whether it's true or not.
Yeah.
Taking the time, and you were the only one that was protecting me at that challenge. Like, New York did her thing, yes, and I think New York would have done her thing too, but Kate was specifically helping the other two in the hopes of me losing.
Yeah. I think that's messed up. I think it's fucked up that they like came after us just because
We're
I'm like
cool and handsome and having fun and
laughing too much.
laughing too much. We were laughing a lot.
He's my homie.
Just wanted to do bed, man.
We laugh a lot. And I fucking love it.
Do you ever like sometimes just lay awake at night and think about how cool we are?
Yeah, man.
Can I watch you?
Can you watch me pee?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Okay.
I need somebody watching my back.
You can borrow these pajamas if you want to sometime.
We'll just start wearing each other's clothes.
Okay.
Nobody will think we're like best friends.
I knew people were bugged that we were having so much fun.
I know.
They
Like
were
they were
so
like
bugged.
pissed. I'm like, why? I would be openly like jealous of that. If I saw two people constantly laughing and
Yeah.
joking around, I'd be like, wait, can I hear the joke?
Yeah, I'd be like, can I sleep on your floor? Like, how do I get in?
Yeah. How do I get into this mix?
Yeah, because I'm not having fun in the house right now. I'm angry.
Yeah.
But if I can get into the jokey group, let me be in there.
Yeah. No shit. You're in a house where there's like a lack of space, a lack of privacy. You got to be around each other all the time. You got to play these crazy games. It's stressful. It's like if we can't sit there and laugh and joke around and be really stupid and, you know, like why? What's the point?
Yeah, then it's miserable.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I loved that energy. I wish we would have done it even more. I know we were pranking the house a little bit, but like
I know.
All right, Tom, let's get into episode 7, where Kate officially decides she hates our guts and everything's fucked. And it starts with the death sentence envelope.
Yeah.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda. What
Yeah.
should have happened with that envelope?
Well, first and foremost, I thought it was, you know, like when you talk about like trust wavering, I thought it was weird that you were like, hey, open and read this letter, and then you become immune to it or something like.
No, I said, I told you what it was. I was like,
If you read it, you
was like-
can't get it again.
I was like, if you read it, you're on the hit list,
Yeah.
but you can pass it to somebody. And in my mind, you weren't trusting that it was actually that, because I was like, you don't want to read this. You don't want this.
No, you were like, once you read it, you can't ever like get on the hit list again. So you might as well read it and get it over with, and then like pass it on to somebody else.
No, my train of thought was, as I was telling you about it, it felt like you weren't believing what I was saying.
I fully believed you.
So then I was like, well, you'll then open it and read it if you don't, because we're the only two that know about it now. So it's
Yeah.
easy to pass on. But once words gets going, it's going to be harder and harder to get someone to open it.
I think that's the one time you and I both got a little spooked and off our game.
We were just scrambling, dude.
I don't like we were. It's like that thing was ticking. It's like
And
a
it didn't
ticking
need to be
sound.
ticking. We
It
had
didn't.
all night.
We had all night. We're like,
It was like burning my hands to
Yeah.
touch it. And I was like, I got it. We
Well,
got to
dude,
get
that was
rid
the
of
most
it.
uncomfortable I had ever seen you. Like you walked into the room and you're like, Tom, and you're like walking around. You're like on your tippy toes, kind of.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like you're a prairie dog, just like.
Which it shouldn't have mattered, because I was like, I'm probably going to win any redemption stuff that they ever have. So why would it even matter? But I looked at it and I was like, I need to make sure Tom trusts me. So I want him to know about the envelope. And then I was like, we should have either targeted someone openly, like let's make sure it falls into Drita's hands,
Yeah.
or we should have put it out and just let it go. And if it comes back to us, we put it down the garbage disposal. So then we know who was targeting us when they're on the hit list the next day.
Yeah.
And I was just like too frazzled. And then it blew up with Kate.
We
like,
should have just. We should have just fucking handed it to Paul
yeah.
or Drita.
Or Drita. Yeah. But they wouldn't have taken it, because coming from us, they would have, Paul maybe, but Drita, no. Drita would have been like,
No, just be like, look what I just found.
yeah, I should have read it publicly and been like, oh, that's crazy. Drita, check this out.
Yeah.
And then hand it to her. And then she reads it and be like, everybody scramble. Nobody look at it. It's like Raiders of the Lost Ark, where the
Yeah.
don't
You
look
can't
at
open-
the
yeah, you
can't
can't
open
open
your
your
eyes.
Yeah.
So
That was that. Yeah. We screwed up, but I can't believe how personally she took it. I mean, she really took it personally. It
did
sucked.
she, or did she just use it as a reason to target us because we were awesome?
Yeah, maybe that.
Because on Survivor, you look for those things where you can be like, it's because you
Can't-
choose too loud.
I can't believe you did that to me.
Yeah,
When they really
exactly.
don't care.
Yes, exactly.
Interesting.
Exactly. So I feel like maybe she did feel that, but she elevated it and escalated it further. And then in her own mind, it was a huge thing. And I think it kind of put blinders on her because now she's not thinking about what's best for her game moving forward.
Yeah.
She's just wants revenge.
Yeah.
And it's fine. Like that's a motivating factor, but revenge doesn't always win you the game.
Yeah. I think the way Kate acted with the letter is really going to give her an uphill battle, like with the rest of the season.
I think so too. I think she got mean.
Yeah. The meanness was like,
where even Christine was like, I don't want to go against Kate because she's probably going to say something cunty to me. And then she just like starts shitting on pickleball. And
were you okay? I could tell that like probably really hurt you.
yeah, I'm okay. I hear it a lot, actually. People are like, oh, that's for old people. I was like, yeah, I'm 46. Like, I don't know. What do you want from me?
You should play tennis.
Yeah.
It's like, Kate, do you play tennis? No.
He said no. Which was so good. She would go on people's Instagrams, research like all of their hobbies, and then just like shit on them passively throughout
Dude,
the
I
house.
couldn't believe how much she like knew about me. Like
Yeah.
she's like,
She was on her phone every night, probably doing
no,
research
she was
on
like,
you.
he's got a motorcycle sidecar. And like, I'm like, okay, so you watch that? And then she's like, yeah, he was on with like JoJo Siwa. I'm like, so you watch Special Forces?
Mhm.
Did you just watch like every show I've been on? Because I've never seen an episode of her.
Well, I'm
on
telling
Below
you, if
Deck.
she's not playing pickleball and she's not playing tennis, she's watching a shit ton of TV.
Apparently.
Yeah,
Apparently.
which is fine.
But she doesn't even care about it. I mean, she's not even really watching. She's just like, it's on.
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
Somebody
my
else
God.
had it on and she just walked by.
Yeah,
and,
she
like,
just walked by and
just-
saw it and then absorbed all of it. And it's like, I hate this thing. But
Yeah.
Dude, I couldn't believe how once the envelope was kind of out in the open, nobody would open it.
Yeah.
Should we have let Paul open it? Would he have come in the house and opened it if we hadn't have told him?
Of course he would have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he would have. It had a pirate thing on it, like cross and skull,
I mean, yeah,
skull and crossbones. He would have been drawn to that.
for sure.
Yeah, I think so. I think we did flub up there, and it was hard to correct. But
We were on such a good trajectory
Trajectory.
before that.
yeah, we
Yeah.
were.
No way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we finished each other's sentences. Yes. I agree. We were in a good spot. Kate wasn't fully trusting, and I could feel that. But I was like, if we can just get by one or two things, we'll be there.
Yeah. We had her. We really did. Like,
Yeah.
and I felt really good about that alliance. And then it was like New York was there too. Like we were really close.
Yeah. And then I kicked the envelope under the chair, putting Kate on the hit list.
Yeah. And then she got off.
Well, let's get into that. Because next up, we're talking about the Battle Royale, nut jobs.
When it comes to this nut job battle royale, it's all about rationing. You want to ration as little as possible while still staying in the game so you have more for the end. You don't want to blow your load right in the beginning. You know, you kind of want to like spread it out a little bit.
That was a weird battle royale challenge.
They're all weird.
Yeah, they
The
all
squirrel
were weird.
costumes that all had our personalities on them and stuff. They're designed so that anybody can win them,
Yeah.
even Kate.
Yeah.
After we lose that challenge and Kate, the worst case scenario for us, wins it,
Yeah.
we come into the house and we actually have a clip from one of the most passive aggressive fights I've ever seen. Check it out.
Oh my God, here we go.
How you feeling?
I feel great. That's how I feel.
I can imagine.
I feel real good. How do you feel?
Feel good.
Good.
Yeah,
Good. Glad you feel good. How's Tyson feel?
good.
Okay, good.
Well,
Good.
I did go looking for you last night.
No. No.
Yes, I did. We both literally said,
Honestly?
let's go find Kate.
Honestly,
I swear to God, like I've
you
never
both said
fucking
let's go
lied to
find
you.
Kate. Okay.
Yes.
I'm back to feeling about Tom Sandoval the same way I felt when I entered the house. He's a worm with a mustache.
She was aggressive with the goods, and you were trying to be so chill with the goods.
I was like, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good. Like, you have to be unbothered. Like,
Yeah.
you know she's trying to rile you up,
Yeah.
and you were so unbothered. I think it was perfect. It was the perfect play.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, and
It was very passive aggressive.
yeah, it was, right? I'm good. How are you? Good. I'm good. Glad that you're good. Oh, I loved it. And then right after, she just picks a fight with pickleball.
What's up,
Tom,
guys?
do you play pickleball?
Every once in a while. You like pickleball?
No, I hate it. I think it's so lame.
Pickleball community, if you're tuning in,
Yeah.
Kate Chastain on Instagram.
Yeah.
Millions of people supposedly play. If millions of people are playing, let it be known on Kate's Instagram comments section.
Yes.
Do you think Kate was justified in being mad at us?
I think she was justified in being annoyed, but I think, and maybe a little, yeah, maybe mad, but like when she came up and came across that letter, I was full. I was like, I literally went like, I rolled my eyes, like I was like, fuck, like
Yeah, you did, and you immediately apologized.
immediately
and
told her.
what
I was like,
happening.
I know exactly what that is. I was like, stop. I even said, I think I said, stop
Yeah.
reading it.
Yeah, stop on your way, and she was like, Tom, you did this.
Yeah.
And then it didn't help that I popped my head out and was like, hey, I'm here too.
I should have just kicked in the door of the bathroom when she was in it.
What do you think she'd be doing in
I would
there?
have been like, I'm like, what, Tom? I'm like, nothing, Kate. Just need to talk to you about something.
Oh, do you know how hard her eyes would have rolled?
Yeah. Sometimes when she rolls her eyes, it's like,
Yeah,
I feel it.
I can feel it
The
too.
house move. Her and Christine. Christine's like, it's more of like a shake.
She does this.
She does this
Yeah.
thing, and it like, I feel like a little, like a tremble, like an LA tremble.
Yeah,
But like with Kate, it's more of like a sway.
you can feel it. A soft, gentle push, nudge.
Yeah.
I do. She was definitely justified in being mad at me, but she also put me on the hit list before I did anything against her.
And she was gonna put me on the hit list, and then you during the Minion Challenge. So
Yeah. She was going to put you on the hit list instead of Paul?
yeah, well, she was like, it's either you or Tyson that's going on that hit
Instead
list.
of me.
Yeah.
She was going to put you on instead of me.
When she went outside
Yeah.
to talk to me,
Yes.
she was like, if Tyson's not going on there, you're going on there. And I'm like, oh, it's like that.
Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So alliances are getting weird now, and people are starting to like look at the end game. The Orange Room is decimated. Only Paul is left. Ashley and Johnny are gone.
Yeah.
And Paul clocks Drita as someone who could win the game and gives some good reasons.
Yeah.
Then I go to Kate and also say, Drita could win this. She shuts me down. And you also, around the counter, ask Drita why she purposely voted opposite of the house every single time.
Yeah.
And then Drita has a confessional where she says everybody that's exited the house is her friend because she voted for all of them to stay.
Exactly.
And Kate's not hearing any of it.
No, she could not. She couldn't hear couldn't hear over the anger in her head.
The rage.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that too. I think she was right in pulling Paul in because Paul was a free agent, total floater, and he was just happened to be there. And so I think
It was interesting to me because I'm like, the guy has no credibility in my book. He had
because of his clothing.
I mean, that's
That's part of it. Yes.
that's that.
You can't trust a guy who dresses like that.
No. But you look way past that because of the other ways that he didn't have credibility.
Yes, yeah,
You don't
there's-
even notice the fucking clothing at that point. I mean, he so obviously was the lie.
So
Or
obviously shifty. Yeah, the vote.
The
The
shifty
stray
vote,
vote.
right at the right
You
right
knew
in
it
the beginning
immediately,
with
Matt.
Christine.
Yeah.
It was so obvious.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, so you're not even a strong like liar. You know what I mean?
Right. It was, you could, and he kept being like, no. And none of the other votes made sense to go towards Christine. So
Yeah.
only Paul could have been it.
Exactly.
The only problem is that Johnny and Ashley didn't fully trust you. So even though I knew that you were telling me the truth about who you voted for,
Yeah.
they couldn't wrap their heads around it.
Yeah.
And we get to the hit list nominations. Kate the supervillain, and no surprise,
Yeah.
Ty Sandoval is on the hit list. That's my name and your name combined.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
I think so too. Any surprises? Like she puts us up and
No, at that point, I wasn't surprised. I thought she could have made a more strategic move. I think she could have like broken things up a little bit, and like, you know, we warned her. We talked to her quite a bit.
I talked to her
did.
too much, and I could tell she was getting annoyed with it. And so
Yeah.
there was like, Kate needed space. She needed people to leave her alone, but then you also needed to like be able to tell her stuff, but then she
Yeah.
wouldn't hear it. And so when she put me up there and Joel was like, "Do you have anything to say?" I was like, "No." I knew I was going to be here, and what am I going to say? Like, "Please, everybody, help me!" Like, nothing was going to help me.
Yeah.
I loved your moment.
You know, Kate, I had really big plans for us. I was gonna like follow you on Instagram. I was even going to comment on one of your sponsored posts. Like for instance, if you did like a teeth whitening system, I was literally gonna comment on how that teeth whitening system like gave me the courage to smile again, to get like more comments going and then comment back to them. Like I was willing to do that for you, but now I think that ship has sailed.
Do you whiten your teeth?
I mean, who doesn't?
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
And you can get on Tom Sandoval's Instagram, and you can get 20% off whitening strips right now if you use the code Ty Sandoval.
Ty Sandoval.
Yeah.
Please leave 5 comments, and you could get it for free.
Yeah. Tag your friends. We did have one brilliant strategy that I think moving forward, pairs on reality game shows are going to employ this. We took the dresser out from between our 2 beds
Yeah.
and created
A super bed.
a super bed.
Yeah.
Let's see it. Dude, is that good? Can we get it closer to each other?
We can try.
Is that as close as it goes?
Yeah.
That's the super bed, dude. I can't believe it took us this long, honestly.
Kate has been a bit of a killjoy, just sucking the fun out of this house. So I know I can have some fun with Tyson. We're pushing our beds together to make one gigantic super bed.
Dude, look. Dude, this is one bed.
Just one fucking bed, man.
Oh, I was gonna do the secret handshake.
Oh, yeah.
A little behind the scenes on the super bed. I proposed the super bed to you a couple nights earlier.
I know.
And
but
you
I
were-
needed to like really let it sit in.
You were hesitant, and I could tell. I think if I would have forced you, you would have, but I could tell you were hesitant. You were like, "No, we're going to push our," and I was like, "Oh, forget I said anything." And I started feeling a little bit self-conscious.
I'm sorry for that. It was a great idea.
It was a great
I just had a
idea.
lot going on in my mind, and like
Yeah.
comprehending a super bed and what it could actually be seemed so much to me in that moment
Yeah.
that I needed like a couple days to fully embrace the awesomeness of the super bed.
Yeah. So,
So-
for those of you at home, so what
Yeah.
you do, you take 2 beds, take whatever's in the middle of them, and push
Get
them
rid of
together.
that. Just literally get rid of
Yeah,
that.
Get rid of it. So you have a twin bed.
Yeah.
You have a full-size bed. You have a queen bed.
You got
have
2
a
king
bed.
beds.
You've got a California king bed, and then you have a super
super
bed.
bed.
Pretty great.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's really awesome.
It's like real, like, you know, real estate.
I can't believe, like, since the dawn of time, there has probably been some form of bed. And the
Yeah.
fact that we're the first 2 to
create
consider
a super bed.
a super bed,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
I mean, I have had a couple missed calls from Forbes.
Dude, I bet you have.
Yeah.
Yeah, 40 under 40.
Yeah.
Whatever the list is that they make. Before we go, let's get into an award.
Yeah.
We're both infamous for our T levels.
Yes.
This award is,
How are your T levels, by the way, right now?
I think they're good. I mean, my eyebrows are thinning a little bit, so I probably could up my T a little bit, but I feel good. How about you?
My T levels they're good, man.
Oh, I know they are. I heard
They're
about
real good.
your night last night.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're probably through the roof.
They're like,
Sky high.
yeah,
Yeah. To the moon.
to the moon.
Tom, thanks so much for being my best bud, the greatest bromance a guy could ask for. Amazing television.
Likewise.
I would poop in the same toilet as you any day of the week.
Dude, I would poop on your poop.
An island?
Yeah,
I would poop on your poop after you pooped on my poop.
dude,
This could go forever.
forever.
Love you, dude.
Love you too, man.
Make sure to watch episode 8 of House of Villains only on Peacock next Thursday. And catch a new episode of the official House of Villains podcast dropping after every TV episode on Peacock and next day on YouTube. Or listen and click follow wherever you get your podcasts so you never miss an episode. Follow us on social at Peacock. Thanks so much for tuning in, and if you've got a buddy and 2 beds laying around, push them together. You might like what happens.